I had a really great question come through. Did you see the spirit just went by? I had a really great question come through on one of my other videos from one of you lovely followers. And the question was, because Gaia is a living being, will she die as we humans do as well? And I thought that was such a great question. I decided that I was going to do a complete teaching on that, about what I have been shown as far as what is going to happen with Gaia and what is happening and what has happened in the past. So stay tuned to that and I will share my insights. Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. Welcome back. My name is Angie, and I am your Soul Alignment Mentor, bringing you intuitive messages from my spirit team to help you align with your most authentic and highest self. So I love getting questions. As a human design generator, if you know anything about human design, we are all uniquely designed to work and function in different ways. And I am someone that functions very well with questions. And so if you have questions, such as the one we will dive in today, feel free to put them below. And I will tune in and ask my spirit team, is this something that we should present to the collective? And if I hear them say yes, then I will see what they have to say. Sometimes it will be a channel message. Sometimes it will be something they tell me to teach about. And so we never know. Everything I do is intuitive. Every video I do is intuitive. And so I just want to bring through the correct information that is helpful for us at this particular time in humanity's ascension and awakening. So I was intrigued by this question because I have actually had visions and communication with Mother Earth. And a couple weeks ago, I was getting ready to go to sleep at night, and all of a sudden I heard Mother Earth would like to speak. And I've never had this happen before. I have channeled different beings before. The wisdom keepers are made of 12 different beings. And so I can always tell a difference of like the energies that might come through. I may not know who they all are, like on a name or label type of way, but I can feel the different energies that come through when I'm channeling. I do know that a couple of my spirit guides work with the wisdom keepers, and they have been a part of helping me to attune my frequency to them to channel their messages. And also, I have worked with some Pleiadians and some Octarians who have knowledge and wisdom about what has happened in this universe beyond the human comprehension that we can tap into, as you know, with our very limited ego mind. And so the messages and insights that they have given me, particularly regarding Mother Earth and Gaia, the earth that we humans live on, is the cycles that it has gone through from the beginning of its existence. And so the way that they have described the earth to me is that it is a living being, because everything in the universe is living. Whether we understand this on a logical level or not, everything is created of energy. There is nothing around us that is not energy. It may appear as if there is not energy involved in certain things, but if you get down to the very molecules and scientific understanding, which I am not a scientist, I'm not going to pretend to know these things in the detail of a scientist, but I have been shown the quantum field. I've been shown the energetic field that is around us. And I've seen sacred geometry and how it really works within all things. My spirit team has shown me how there everything's a mirror within the universe. And so one of the examples that I can give you that might help you comprehend what I mean by everything's a mirror is that we might appear as if we are different beings than other beings, or we might appear to have different ways of functioning than some other things. But like, if you've seen a picture, there's pictures that have gone around on the internet that have had like a tree, and like seeing the branches as you take a picture looking up, and how it looks like the lungs of a human. And then you look at the lungs of a human and they're very similar. And that is really how the universe works. Everything is, I guess you could say, parallel or connected or a mirror. And so from the smallest molecules, from the smallest little particles to the ginormous energies of source and the creation of all things, everything is a replica of itself, just in a different physical form. But when you go to the actual energetic source of all things, there is a mirroring aspect within all things. And this is a hard concept to grasp in our human minds, but this is divinely created. The universe, us, the world, the other planetary systems, everything is orchestrated and divined so perfectly that it works together for eternity without fail. And there are beings that have been created within the elements of the energies around us that we can't really comprehend in this dimension, that help keep the order of the universe together. And the reflections that we have here on earth would be like having leadership, or people in charge, or like people that keep order to keep people safe. So the universe also has like councils of beings and angels and guides and different planetary systems, and they all have their roles and they all have their specific way of helping the universe have its order to continue to create more of itself. And you may have seen in some of my past teachings how I have taught about the infinity sign and how everything truly is an infinity. Like, we are affinity, everything around us is affinity, and so is Mother Earth. So some of the visions that I have received in the past, and this is probably in the last 5 or so years, I have seen Mother Earth basically creating a new version of herself. And it doesn't mean that there's a death necessarily happening. It means there's a shedding. And so again, looking at that mirroring aspect of how everything in the universe kind of reflects itself, come down to we'll use a snake or a lizard or some kind of a reptile that sheds its skin and then grows a new skin. Mother Earth has been doing that since her birthing of this physical experience in life that she is having. And so she's gone through multiple of these throughout her existence. And honestly, I'm not really even sure we can grasp the amount or the time in existence that Mother Earth has been in. However, not only is she physical, but she's also conscious. She's also energy. And so the energy, just like we as humans don't die, we just shift into different forms, and we can become different beings within our spirit. So in this particular lifetime, in the lifetime you are choosing to be in right now, you are a physical human being. But the human being, the human existence, is also ascending into a new frequency, which is allowing there to be a new, what we would call hybrid of human race. And the new human race is going to look much different than what our human race looks like in the way we comprehend the physical realm of who we are. And Mother Earth has been going through the same thing. And so the way that my spirit team has showed this to me is that she has gone through a life rebirth, or a death rebirth multiple times. And what we as humans consider to be destructive or things that are harmful to Mother Earth are actually a part of her rebirthing herself. And we see that happening right now on Earth. And these are not necessarily easy topics for me to talk about because in my human comprehension, my empathy, my compassion, my understanding of human existence and life, I have a deep love for my fellow humanity, for my fellow humans. And it doesn't matter who they are, where they are, or how they look. Like sorry, I get emotional talking about this. My compassion is for humans to feel accepted, loved, and a part of this collective energy. And so when I think about that aspect of it, I understand that when we think about ascension, that there are shifts happening within even the human form. And so the physical part of a human isn't necessarily going away, but those who are ascending into higher frequency along with Mother Earth, we are shifting into a different physical form, which eventually in the future, and my spirit team has let me know this is the full rebirth is likely going to take place around year 3000. So we're a little ways off from that completion of the rebirth, but we are in the middle of it right now. And this cycle has happened multiple times upon this earth. And, my spirit team has let me know around every 2,500 to 2,000 years, there is a cycle that happens where earth kind of sheds its skin like a snake or a reptile to grow a new one. And this is when we might see things like the ice age or very, very like deep famine or lots of fires or lots of floods or things like that. And it's because what we consider to be destruction is actually Mother Earth's way of recreating itself, of letting go of the trauma, the things that humans have done to it to help it to heal and release. So if you have been on any type of healing journey, if you've been on an ascension and awakening journey yourself, you know that in order to heal, you have to feel your pain deeply. And when you feel your pain deeply, it releases from you and your perspective of that changes. And so being able to tap into what traumas you have hidden in your body, what energies are in your body, what are you holding in your chakras, what is going on inside of you that continues repeated cycles that you don't necessarily like or that align with your higher self. And the more that you go inward and allow those to surface and you feel the emotion and you release the emotion, the more you renew, the more you awaken, and the more you ascend in your frequency. Mother Earth is doing the same thing. She's feeling her trauma. She's feeling into the pain that has been placed on her. And just like we can be harmed by other humans, humans are harming her in some aspect. And so she is not necessarily rebelling. She loves humans. She holds us. We're divinely connected. And so she's not fighting against humanity. She's not mad at humanity. She's not destroying humanity to rebirth herself. She has a comprehension beyond the physical realm and the logical human ego that we have, that in order for something to rebirth, something has to die. And so Mother Earth is going through this cycle. It is not really necessarily a complete death because nothing really dies. Our soul never dies. This human body will disintegrate. But the cool thing, and this is just something my spirit team has popped in my head, I'm not going to say it's true or not true, but maybe if there's anyone connected to like the Native American background that is following me, they might be able to tap into this a little bit more for us. But my spirit team has shown me that just because our body disintegrates doesn't mean that there's not a frequency still connected to the body that moves back into the earthly realm, whether that's through cremation or being buried. So the physical part of us becomes part of Gaia again. And so she isn't necessarily feeling the loss of humanity. She's feeling the shifting of humanity and how we come and go in different forms. And so it's not that she wants to destroy humanity or she's mad or she wants to hurt us. It's that she's going through her own birthing process. She's going through her own healing. She's letting go of the traumas that have happened to her. And there's a lot of us on earth that don't want to hurt Mother Earth. There's a lot of us that love her. We want to spend time with her. We cherish our time with her as well. We make sure that we treat it well. And I think the more we awaken, the more we ascend, the more we come into that connection with her consciousness and our consciousness, where we understand that we are one being working together. And the more we awaken and the more we ascend, the more this is going to happen. And as the earth shifts into a higher frequency, we will become more and more in tune to her frequency and more capable and able to work with her instead of against her or harming her in some type of way. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is going to happen with the 3D? Like, what happens with the old earth? Well, just I was saying, like, our body doesn't necessarily, it disintegrates into the earth, but the energy, the frequency of it remains. And because Mother Earth is not human, she's not in the form of this physical death, she actually goes through a shifting of her frequency. And this is a really hard concept to share, but the way that even now my spirit team is showing me that even the other planetary systems have started the way that Earth has. This is a very this is one of the lower dimensions in the entire universe. And this lower dimension provides the deepest, hardest, most amazing teaching that you can have within any realm. And that is why we come to be a human. That is why Mother Earth is so special, is because she is capable of being both a loving, genuine consciousness that loves us humans, but also is very aware of herself, where she in her consciousness understands the death and rebirth within the energetics of all things in the universe, with the cycles of the stars and cycles of planets and cycles of renewal that everything goes through. So she's not dying, she's shedding. And the shedding is where the 3D moves into. So my spirit team has actually showed me visions of two earths starting to pull apart. And so it's not necessarily the death, it's the rebirth. And so the 3D will remain in the universe because Source is continuing to make more of itself. And what do those souls want to experience that have not experienced 3D yet? Many of us have been on our journey on Earth or having lower dimensional experiences for thousands and thousands of years. We really cannot comprehend how many times we have been on Earth before. But the Earth understands this and is going to continue to provide ability in a dense energy for new souls to come and experience themselves in that dimension. Those of us who are graduating, is the way I would say, or have learned what we came to learn in that dimension, are ready to ascend into the next frequency where our next learning will begin. And that is what we're awakening to, where we are coming back into the consciousness of we are not just human, we are also spiritual beings. And this is why we're awakening to some of these things that I'm able to teach and other teachers are able to bring through. So it's not that Mother Earth will ever die. She's just shedding, allowing that part of herself to remain, and then making a new part of herself, which is ascended into a new frequency. And then that part will continue its ascension and eventually shift again. And so the 5D earth will remain, and then it will move into probably the 6th, 7th, 8th, who knows what dimension that will be. And the way that I can describe this is the other star systems, the other planets that around the universe have gone through their that experience as well. They have gone through the life rebirth process, and they're going through it with us right now. That is why many of the galactic families that we have out there, the Pleiadians, the Lemurians, the Octarians, the Lyrans, like whoever these beings are that are wanting to assist us in this ascension, they're benefiting too, because their planetary system, their understandings of themselves, their energy is also enhancing and rebirthing and awakening to new consciousness. And the whole point of it is, if you look at that infinity sign, it starts somewhere and then it moves into the lower dimension and then back into the higher dimensions. And we're working our way back up into consciousness of God, basically. So I would say the middle ground here on Earth, one of the highest frequencies we can tap into at this time is Christ consciousness. And that's where we're all going. And that's the second coming. That's the rebirthing of the consciousness that Jesus came to teach us 2,500 years ago. And now that we're halfway through this 2,500 years, or we're over halfway, we're at the last part of it up until year 3000, we will be shifting into that consciousness that he came to teach about at that time on Earth to help rebirth. And the prophecies that were brought through at that time about new Earth happening in new Earth, the old shall fade and the new shall come. That is what is happening with Earth. And so Gaia is going through this rebirthing process with us, and she's not dying. She's awakening. She's shifting. She's becoming more aware of herself. She's becoming more aware of the connection she has with us. And that's why we're being able to connect with her more. It's all one collective energy working together. And so you're seeing a lot of things happening on Earth right now, as far as volcanoes, floods, some severe storms coming through, maybe even shifts in the atmosphere. I live in Kansas, and we have been, since I was little, tornado alley. Like, we've had massive tornadoes here. And in the last years, it's kind of shifted into other states, which is really interesting. And so there's like all these different things happening around Mother Earth's energy, where she's taking parts of herself and shedding trauma so that she can rebirth new parts of herself and create new ways of being her own self and consciousness, and being a part of the human existence as the humans ascend into new energy. And eventually, she's going to be able to hold a higher frequency, just as we're going to hold a higher frequency. And our physical bodies will become more light-like. We will become less dense. So the way we may not be completely like alien-like, where we can walk through a wall, but our abilities to understand energy is going to become more and more enhanced in that way, much like they probably likely did around the times they were building the pyramids. I think we're rebirthing into a lot of that understanding that they had at that time, where they could use energy, where they connected with their galactic family, where they understood different elements and different beings within the universe. And then religion came into place and kind of corrupted the connection. Not that the connection has always been completely clear, because the whole purpose of being on Earth is to not have a clear connection. So, but we are birthing a new ability to have that clear connection, but the 3D will remain for the souls that are still desiring to experience that, because Source is continuing to create more of itself. And that is the eternal frequency that is giving the beginning end constant, where in the example I always use is the two sides of the battery, the positive and negative. So you could say God is the positive, and it never changes. And then here we are in the negative frequency and the 3D. And those two frequencies work together to create more energy of itself. And that is what is happening with Mother Earth. So no, she's not necessarily dying, but she is shifting, she's shedding, she's ascending, and she's rising her frequency along with us humans that are ready to move into the next understanding of consciousness of who we are. I hope that was helpful. I know that these concepts can be like a little mind-blowing. They're mind-blowing for me when I am talking about them. And if you have, like I said, if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. I am filling up quickly on one-on-one sessions. So if there is something that you would like to meet with me about, feel free to go ahead and schedule. I don't know how much longer I will be doing one-on-ones the way that I am, but in the future, I hope to be able to do more teachings, possibly live with all of you here on YouTube. So thank you for following, subscribing, and sharing. I appreciate you being here with me today. And again, feel free to leave a comment or a question that I will keep track of and tap into and see what my spirit team has to say. I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.